Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Are you sick of looking at Netflix and you don't know what to watch?
So many movies out there, you don't know which ones are good, which ones were bad.
You curious about what's out there?
I'm Joey Powers.
I'm Don Trettler.
This is The Best Pictures.
The ones you don't want to miss.
Hit it. Say hello to my little friend.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Winners go home and prom queen.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I don't deserve this. Deserves got nothing to do with it. No sequel for you.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of The Best Pictures. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
Hey, and I'm Don Trettler. Welcome to the show.
It's a nice toasty weekend, though.
Yeah.
My goodness, it's awful.
And we took advantage of it by going to the movies.
We did. Two weekends in a row. We didn't do a show last week, so we have a couple of new movies to review. I also have been doing good myself. I watched Psychopaths
Excellent.
this weekend, and then I watched In Bruges the next night. So Seven Psychopaths gets a 7.1 on IMDb. I'm thinking that's right in line with what I would give it, because
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. I would certainly watch it again. In Bruges gets a 7.9. I think that's low.
You think that's low?
I do. I really liked that movie. I liked it more than I liked Banshees of Inisherin.
Wow, yeah.
It was, a great cast. Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell, obviously, but I always like Ralph Fiennes, too. He's not in it a lot. That's, I was kind of surprised. I thought he'd be in it more. But it was fun. It's more, I think it's more like humorous than the Banshees was, and Seven Psychopaths. But it's also serious, too.
Right, and violent.
And yes, exceedingly violent. But it was a fun movie. Like, I watched it I was gonna watch the Batman last night, but for some reason I got into the stupid flag football games, and I was like, I'm done by now because the Batman's so long. But it was really fun. They were both really entertaining movies. I thought they were both more fun than the Banshees was, because that's, to me, obviously a more darker, serious movie. But they got good chemistry. Art McDonough and Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson.
Right.
They just seem to hit it off. That's him and Colin Farrell have done 3 movies together: 7.1, 7.8, 7.9. That's not bad, So, and I think he wrote all 3 of them as well. So he's a very, very gifted screenwriter as well.
I think that, and then 3 Billboards, which doesn't have Colin Farrell.
I forgot he did that too. And I self-admitted the first time I saw it, I didn't like it. Yeah. Then I watched it again, and then I watched it again, and I was like, that's right up there too. I think that's right up there, 7.8, 7.9 too.
I need to watch that one again. Yeah, that was a nominated movie when it came out, and that's it. That's all he has, those 4.
But that's also Sam Rockwell, Sam Rockwell was in Seven Psychopaths. Yeah. So he definitely uses the same actors in multiple movies, and they all seem to be working out well because they're all really good. Sam Rockwell won an Oscar for 3 Billboards. Colin Farrell possibly may win an Oscar for In Bruges, and Colin Farrell won, not for In Bruges, for Banshees of Inisherin, but he also won a Golden Globe for In Bruges and for the Banshees of Inisherin. So it's working out well for the 2 of them, So
right.
But this 2 weekends ago, me, you, and Colin went and saw The Whale. Which, by the way, Colin, I don't know if you noticed or not, but where did we go? Did we go to Keene to see The Whale?
No, Brattleboro.
And then the next weekend, it was playing in Bells Falls.
Right.
2 weekends in a row, because the weekend before, we went and saw A Man Called Otto, and then the following weekend, it was playing in Bells Falls.
And next weekend may be Knock at the Cabin.
I hope not.
Because we went
and saw that this weekend. But The Whale got an 8.0. I agree. Right around there. I think that and Banshees, I think, are pretty similar. I like Banshees more, but I thought The Whale was really good. Darren Aronofsky always does fairly well. I still haven't watched Mother, by the way.
Oh, you got it.
I know, I have to.
Because we got to lend it to Colin.
I know, and I have it sitting there. Maybe I'll watch that tonight instead of the Batman.
It's I don't know. I don't want to say too much about it, and I hope I didn't say too much about In Bruges or Seven Psychopaths.
Well,
Because I saw him before you, and I hope I didn't say
Josh kind of ruined In Bruges.
Did he?
Remember when you guys were talking about it, he talks about the end, and you were like, he hasn't seen it yet. He's like, oh, well, he owns it, but whatever. I forgot, actually, until I watched it. But I don't know. What did you think? Did you like The Whale?
I did. I liked The Whale a lot. Matter of fact, I liked it a lot more than I expected because
I did too.
I read a review several months ago. I think it's from Christy Lemire. And she basically, her opinion was that she thought it was kind of gratuitous that we were like, you know, there's a lot of those television shows about, you know, big obese people and following them around and their habits and things like that. And I kind of think that's, you know, it's kind of voyeuristic. And I think she thought that this movie was voyeuristic. There was only one scene, I mentioned this to you before, there was one scene, because, you know, Brendan Fraser has to wear this prosthetic suit to do this part.
Yeah.
And I think because they probably invested a lot of money trying to make it really look realistic, they had to show it off. So they had a...
Right, no, I get that.
Yeah, they had a scene where he was walking down the hall with no shirt on. And I thought that could be gratuitous. But the movie as a whole was a lot better than she had led me to believe, you know. I thought Brendan Fraser did a tremendous job.
I thought he did. I really thought he did. I mean, he did get nominated for a Screen Actors Guild and an Oscar for lead actor. By the way, Colin the Whale did not get nominated for Best Picture.
Wow.
And I honestly thought all the acting was good. You and Colin both thought that the daughter was kind of...
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a generic, you know, teenager of... No, I shouldn't even say angry teenager.
Like a typical angry teenager kind of.
Right.
No, I get that. I still thought she was good. I thought her performance was good. Yeah. And we both agreed that the nurse was really good.
Yeah.
You know, I thought she was really well. But I thought like the last 10 or 15 minutes when he's trying to convince his ex-wife of why he was leaving the money for the daughter because he didn't get a chance to really raise her. And, you know, I thought he was really good there. I thought that's what kind of set him apart from other actors this year,
right.
of the performances I've seen anyway. And she kind of, you know, she had mentioned, she's like, okay, I did my job. I raised her. You're doing her job. You're taking care of her future. She's like, that's the best that we could do. Or that's the best we were able to do or whatever. And I thought that was a fair point. I did. I thought it was a really good movie. I thought obviously it was sad. You know, it was a sad movie. But in all, yeah, I'm definitely glad I saw it. And, yeah, 8.0, it's, you know, when we've noticed that when movies open that they generally are higher and then they kind of plateau as...
Right. So this will probably
won't
down.
Stay at 8.0.
I don't think it's going to go below 7.
I don't think
I can't imagine this.
I think his performance alone really would keep it above a 7 because it definitely is, it's the performance of his career without question, you know. And so this weekend, finally after 7 weeks, Avatar was dethroned by Knock at the Cabin, which we did go see this weekend.
M. Night Shyamalan.
It opened at $14.2 million, and it is, believe it or not, it is rated R. I'm kind of surprised when I saw that because it was not very violent. Maybe the language a little more than. I don't remember the language being that bad.
No, I certainly not enough that I remember.
For it to be R, I didn't think so, but it is rated R.
They must have thrown the F word around too many times.
I think they did a few times, but I didn't think it was anything like over the top.
Right.
But it opened at $14.2 million. Very respectable for an R-rated, pretty much horror movie, I would say. I mean, psychological thriller, I guess, maybe a better term. 80 for Brady opened second at $12.5 million. And Avatar still made $10.5 million, you know, and it would finish third.
Well, that's the type of movie, and I think you and I both said this after we saw it. We wanted to go back and see it a second time.
Yeah, and it played for 4 weeks, and somehow we missed it. What are going on with the lights? Right, stop playing with the lights. But so, Knock on the Cabin gets a 6.4 right now.
What'd you think?
I don't know. We talked about it on the way back, and you were like, it's definitely over a 6 because it's watchable.
Oh, yeah.
And absolutely. And you had also mentioned something, it like catches you from like the opening scene. Like you're just like enthralled. Like nobody left the theater to go to the bathroom that I noticed. Because you're just like, what's going to happen next? You know, and I wasn't sure what to make of it. And then after, you know, Dave Bautista, who I thought was actually very good in a role that he normally wouldn't get offered because he's kind of he plays Drax, by the way, in Guardians of the Galaxy. I looked that up.
That's the name.
Yeah. But I thought he was really good in a very serious role. And when he asked them the question the first time, you know, I'm thinking like, whatever. And then what immediately happens after, I was like, whoa. I was like, they're not messing around. So, I mean, it was...
He's just betrayed by that huge tattooed body.
Yeah. Oh, he's enormous. I mean,
And
he's a
he
big
really-
guy.
You know, for us to kind of like believe that he was like he plays a second grade teacher.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, but he's huge and he's got all these tattoos and stuff on him. But it's not for, lack of effort on his acting. I think he did fine. I mean, he was able to kind of transcend that, his physical presence.
Yeah. No, he was great. I thought, like, the acting in the movie in general was really good. I looked up some of the actors that were in it, like the two dads.
Right.
And I hadn't seen. I mean, Rupert Grint obviously was in the Harry Potter franchise, but other than that, I looked him up, and like the two dads, one of them was like basically just all TV movies. A couple of like shorts, but other than that, just like TV movies and like on a couple episodes of this show, a couple episodes of that show. Like they're not really. This was like their biggest breakout role, I think, for both of them.
Right.
But no, it was definitely.
Really, I guess Dave Bautista was the biggest name in the movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. And he's got a lot coming up too, So I mean, he's definitely, and he still has been wrestling. I mean, I looked at his biography, and he was, I think the last he was in like WrestleMania like 2021, so he was still pretty active in wrestling too.
That's
so
why he stayed big.
yeah, So, but I did mention, don't you think he kind of got a little fat? Like he's not like ring shape. I don't think right now.
Yeah.
So he definitely got a little husky. I don't know if that was necessarily for the role.
Well, he's in his 50s, I think.
Oh, he's got to be.
He's over 50 years old
Yeah.
now. So, I mean, you can't expect the guy to go out there in the ring, to do that. Anyway, M. Night Shyamalan, his movies are famous for these, like, twists.
Yes.
So, I mean, the premise of this movie is basically there's this family. It's two, it's a gay couple, two dads and a daughter, and they go out into the woods. They rent this cabin in the woods for a little vacation or whatever, and they get approached. Somebody comes knocking on the cabin door. 4 people who I hope this isn't ruining it for anybody, but basically they all had the same visions about the end of the world. Because I think this is all in the trailer.
Yeah,
too.
No, it is, and even in the description here, it tells you what it's about. So.
And basically, they leave these 3 people, the 2 dads and the daughter, a choice that one of them has to be sacrificed to
avoid
prevent
the apocalypse. Yes, and at first they thought they were being targeted because they were gay, and ultimately, I mean, can't really get into too much of it without kind of ruining it for people.
Right.
But,
We don't want to ruin the movie, but that's the premise of the whole thing. So these 4 people basically are trying to convince them of their reality.
Right.
And the dad's thing, come on, you're crazy, you're. Anyway, it's really.
Which I would feel the same way,
Yeah.
I mean, they're 4 complete, like, they don't know each other, the 4 people. They just all had the same vision, and they just met up and just show up with these weapons, which they didn't. They said they weren't weapons; they were tools.
Right.
But, well, whatever. But no, very interesting. Very, like I said, I would definitely consider a psychological thriller more than horror or even science fiction.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great movie, but it definitely was good, and it held your interest, and it was the whole premise. I mean, because you're sitting there, you're like, what's going to be the choice? What's going to happen with this thing? Because the family has to make the choice. The 4 people aren't making the choice. They're basically presenting the situation there, but the family is the one that has to make the choice, and that's what makes it so dramatically interesting.
Yeah, and difficult for the family because it's like it's two dads and the adopted girl. It's like how do you make that decision? Like that's
right. And they made a point, in the story, the way they wrote it, that the couple, they basically, like, in a flashback, profess their love for each other, like they're going to be together forever, through thick, through thin. Could have been. I mean, it could have been a straight couple too. I'm not sure it made any difference that it had to be.
No, I don't think it really.
I don't know. That's something to noodle on and think, like, if it had been a heterosexual couple, if the stakes would have been different. If I don't know if I should say this. If the expectation would have been that the man was supposed to sacrifice.
Yeah, no, I never thought about it like that. One thing I did read, though, this is the 7th Shyamalan film to open at #1.
Oh.
It's his lowest opening of any movie.
Wow.
That surprised me.
I think a lot of movies are opening low, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's the movie itself. I think it's just the times right now, and
Right.
especially because it was R. I feel like if it was PG-13, it probably would have opened in the mid-20s.
Well, I think that's evident in I checked out what's opening today. And next week, the big opening is Magic Mike.
Oh, there's another one?
A third one, yeah.
I didn't
Have
know
you
that.
seen any of them?
No.
No, me either.
No.
So
I
and
won't
then
see the third one either.
the
So.
week after that is
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And those are the big, and that's it. I mean, there's nothing opening against Ant-Man. It's basically guaranteed to make a bunch of money because it's going to be the only movie opening that
Something
week.
is opening at the end of March. I don't remember what it was. I kind of want to look it up, though, because it's definitely something I'm
There's probably some good stuff. But I mean, just tell there's a lot more stuff that's opening on streaming right now.
Yeah.
And, well, for instance, the Irishman, which is, we're going a ways back. We're going well over a year, I think.
Yeah.
And that had Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci in it. And that opened streaming. That didn't open in the theaters. I don't even know if it played in the theaters, to be honest with you.
No, I don't think it did. I think it just streamed, and that
So
was
it's a new world. I mean, we're not strictly looking at movie theaters anymore. And Joey and I were talking about this on the way up to the movies this week, that, there are some movies that are almost made to go to the movie theater for. I really wanted to see Avatar in a movie theater. And that could be a reason why it's making money, because it's not going to be as interesting to watch at home. I mean, maybe if you've got a really huge television and a sound system and you can turn out the lights, but you still got the dog or the cat interrupting you and the kids, and you gotta,
And you always have the option of hitting pause, too.
Yeah.
Which kind of, to me, it takes away, because I do that all the time. I have a short attention span, so I'll just hit pause and check on the score in the game or something like that. It takes away from the experience.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to look up, which I'm glad I just looked up now, Creed 3 is March 3rd. So they did move it, because it was supposed to be right around Christmas time. But everything's, ever since the pandemic, everything has just gotten, tossed all around. Top Gun was supposed to open, 3 years ago. So it's just, everything just keeps getting moved around. But there is something that comes out, I want to say March 24th, that's really, well, Scream 6 comes out March 10th. I guess it's only going to let me go to there. But so there's some
some stuff coming
not
out.
huge movies. I mean, Creed's going to be big, I feel. The first two are pretty big.
Well, maybe it's the season too, because it's going to be Academy Awards season. So I think what they figure is people are going to be concerned themselves trying to see those movies and catch up.
Right.
So maybe they're not going to go to the movies to see some of this new, not so high quality stuff. I don't know.
Have you heard of Cocaine Bear?
Yeah, I've seen the trailers a couple of times.
I've seen the trailer a couple of times too. It just sounds like it's Ray Liotta's last movie.
I guess it's based on a true event.
Oh, really? What is it actually about? Do you know?
I think somehow somebody drops a cocaine shipment somewhere, I don't know, like in the mountains or something, and the bear gets into it and then starts terrorizing people.
That sounds kind of funny, actually.
Doesn't it?
I mean, it's not a horror. I mean, it's not a comedy, obviously, but
I think it's got
Is it really?
It's got to have a comic element to it. So I kind of want to see it.
So this is what the description is. An oddball group of cops, criminals, tourists, and teens converge in a Georgia forest where a 500-pound black bear goes on a murderous rampage after unintentionally ingesting cocaine. It does sound kind of funny. It must. I guess it must be a comedy. I don't know. I mean, it just a bear on cocaine just sounds funny to me. That's definitely something I would check out.
Right.
And especially being Ray Liotta's last movie, I would check that out anyway. Well, I'm gonna actually.
Hey, we didn't get to give Colin's take.
Oh yes, that's right. I forgot about that.
Okay, this is what Colin said. Okay, about The Whale. Not a masterpiece like he expected from Darren, but pretty darn close. All three of us left the theater basically thumbs up. We had really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, you and I definitely liked it a lot more than we expected.
I mean, when you hear the story, it just sounds like it's going to be a reunification story between this guy and his daughter. But they really got into the emotions of the whole thing. They really got into the guy's regret over his choice. That he made this choice, and I guess that he was caught up in the moment at the time, and I guess that happens to people.
I had mentioned to you, and I didn't even realize. I mean, I did realize, but I didn't thinking about it. It reminded me a lot of The Wrestler.
Yeah.
And I didn't even put two and two together. They're both Aronofsky movies. You know?
Right.
I didn't think about it at the time, but it really does remind me a lot of The Wrestler because it's kind of the same situation. Mickey Rourke's trying to reach out to his daughter, who he was pretty much a terrible father to, and he ends up different circumstances and stuff. But it definitely really felt that way to me. And Mickey Rourke also was nominated for lead actor that year. He actually won the Golden Globe, and somehow. Sean Penn beat him for Milk, which you can't really argue with Sean Penn because he's pretty much great at everything. But looking back at it, Mickey Rourke was... I like The Wrestler a lot more than I actually like Milk. I thought Sean Penn's performance was spot on, as always. Right. But Mickey Rourke, is he ever going to get nominated again? That was... Maybe
he will. Maybe they'll give him a part. He's not going to get another one like The Wrestler, to be lead actor, but he might get Best Supporting Actor, and I'll bet, I would wager... that was not his only nomination. He was nominated before.
I bet he probably was too.
He's had a couple of lead roles, and he was pretty decent in them. I think he had the lead role in Angel Heart, which was, I'm going to be hard-pressed to remember that director's name. He did The Wall.
Oh, I know who it is too, yeah. Because that's De Niro too, right? Is that Robert De Niro in?
Yeah, Robert De Niro's
I think someone else famous, pretty big, is in it too.
It was one of the women that played Cosby's daughters on his television show. And then she left the show for a movie career, and she didn't really pan it. She married, I think she married the
Are you talking about Felicia Rashad?
No, it wasn't Felicia Rashad.
Well, I heard you say married.
It was the daughter, and she married, what's his name? Shoot, he's a singer. He had a couple of hits and stuff. I want to get away.
Oh, Lenny Kravitz?
Lenny Kravitz's wife, I think. Though I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry. This is a problem. I can't recall names anymore.
So believe it or not, Cocaine Bear is listed as a thriller. But we got to go see it because I know I'm going to laugh at something. Seeing a bear all messed up on cocaine.
I hope they bring it to the theaters when it opens up so we can see it.
You got to bring it somewhere, right? They have to. It's Ray Liotta's last movie. And Mickey Rourke, surprisingly, that was his only Oscar nomination.
Oh.
But he's had a great career. He was great in Sin City. Did you see Sin City?
I did.
As Marv?
Yeah.
I thought he was great in that. What about the one with him and Kim Basinger? 9.5 Weeks?
Oh, yeah. That was a really good movie when it came out. Adrian Lynn.
Wasn't he the Marlboro Man? And Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man?
Oh, right.
And him and Don Johnson. Yeah. Obviously that's not an Oscar-nominated movie, but
and one of my favorite movies, Body Heat. He has a supporting role in Body Heat.
I forgot he's in that.
Yeah,
that's
William Hurt.
Who's the director though? That's not Kasdan, is it?
It is.
It is, okay.
And I think Kasdan wrote it too. And William Hurt approaches him because he wants to set a fire, and I guess. Mickey Rourke is an arsonist. And I remember Mickey Rourke says to him in the movie, he goes, anytime you want to commit a decent crime, there are 50 ways you can screw up. You think of 25 of them and you're a genius. And you ain't no genius. He was just spot on. Mickey Rourke, I don't know, you look at him and you don't think that guy could be a good actor, but he really is. He's always really effective. I shouldn't say always, because I think he's probably done some dogs. But we just named off a handful of movies that he's been just really spot on with.
Lisa Bonet.
Lisa Bonet?
Yes, okay. I should have known that. And Alan Parker's the director.
Alan Parker.
Well, he didn't do Mississippi Burning, did he?
I think he did, yeah.
Okay.
But he died. He died pretty early. He's been gone for, I venture to say 20 years, and he made a lot of really good films.
Those are two that stand out to me. Which one did you like better? Angel Heart or Mississippi Burning?
Oh, probably Mississippi Burning.
Yeah. Angel Heart gets a 7.2.
Yeah, it's
which
good.
is pretty high. I'm going to check Mississippi Burning.
Burning's probably higher than that.
I bet it is.
Yeah, Alan Parker did Birdie. He did The Wall. He did The Commitments. Did you ever see the movie The Commitments?
I think I did a long time ago.
But they put together a band in Ireland. No big stars.
Nope, maybe not.
I don't think there's a big name in the movie, but I remember seeing that in the theater on that just blew me away.
7.8 for Mississippi Burning. So that's I might even say that's a little low.
Gene Hackman, Willem
Dafoe, yeah, Michael Rooker. He's evil in that movie.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much out of time.
Yeah, we're gonna have to review another movie for next week.
Yeah, maybe we'll find something playing in the theater somewhere this weekend. and
Oh,
watch
you know what?
something
The
else.
Sting is playing on Wednesday
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that to me. I
Right.
have to check that out.
at our local theater here. And Joey and I have been patronizing the both the Springfield Theater and the Keene Theater that used to be the Key Theaters, are owned by the same family, and they really seem to be really into the movies. They treat you nice when you
Yeah,
go
very
there.
friendly people. Yes, very friendly people.
So it's a good place to see a movie.
All right, well, that's been our show for the week. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
I'm Don Tretler, and these are the ones you don't want to miss.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Here's Johnny. Go ahead. Make my day.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.